Welcome back to Nightstand Coffee. I'm Todd.
And I'm Jennifer.
And this is Season 2, Episode 11.
And we've already picked the intro song, and I'm already giggling. Go ahead, Todd.
Well, we're talking about cheering our spouse on, encouraging our spouse, being their biggest supporter, their biggest fan.
Yes.
And I thought it was only appropriate that the theme song be... Oh, Rickey, you're so fine. You're so fine. You blow my mind. Hey, Rickey.
Sorry, I can barely get this episode started without cracking up laughing. I was like, you have to sing it. You have to sing it.
Which would have been better if you sang it.
Well, that's okay. I was too busy laughing.
Yeah, okay.
Because if you would listen to previous episodes, you would know that Todd's first name is actually Rickey.
That's right.
So you'd have to be a follower of this podcast to know why that is even significant to this podcast.
Side note, Jennifer's never sang that to me in our 25 years of marriage.
Well, you know what? Our anniversary's coming up. Maybe I'll bust it out. We'll figure it out. Oh, okay. Well, coming up. Not on the podcast, though. We'll have to do it on some other venue.
Also, this is completely unrelated other than the fact that this is episode 11. But just earlier today, one of our daughters was sharing a meme with me. Mm-hmm. And in the meme... this girl was working as a cashier at a cash register, and she rang up the customer, and the total for the bill was $21.11, and the girl read it as $21.21, and so I thought this could be episode 21.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Todd's getting a little delirious because this is past his bedtime. We've been kind of challenged finding an opportunity to record now that you're not working in the same town as what we're living in.
Makes it a little more hard.
Yeah. So
a little more hard, a little more difficult.
Yes. And so we're having to find little nooks and crannies of time to record. And so we're having to keep you awake.
Yeah,
so.
those nooks and crannies are interfering with my bedtime.
Look alive, Todd. Hope you can stay awake with us. So today we want to talk about how to be a cheerleader.
Yeah.
And so what this is about, how this came about, was that we had some really special friends come and spend the weekend with us.
Yes.
So Roy and Leanne Rhodes have been our friends since I was a teenager. You were a teenager.
Yeah.
So I was 14. So that was a long time ago. And so they came and surprised us for a weekend visit. And so...
Yeah, so I made a transition, and I transitioned off of the staff at a church where we've been for 10 and a half years, and they threw a reception for us and a party, just to say goodbye to everybody, and people had incredibly nice things to say, and it was really great. And one of the other things that they did was that they contacted our friends and asked them to come and be a part of that celebration too. And it was really, really great to see them, and really special that they were there to be a part of that.
And they spent the weekend with us, and they came to our new church in Greensburg. And
they did.
And we stayed with them, and we hung out with them, and they're not listeners of the podcast yet. So when they do listen, because I sent her the link today, so get busy, Leanne, start listening to this podcast. They will discover that we're talking about them when they get to this episode. They will. So one of the topics that they shared with us, because they are older and wiser and have been mentors to us forever. They were the first people that we served under. It
was the first church. The first church we were on staff at as a married couple.
Yes,
they were the pastors.
Yes, and they were in our lives prior to that, but that's probably where we got the closest to them. For sure.
I've known Roy and Leanne since I was in high school.
Yes, and you're way past that now.
I'm way past that now. Yeah.
And so, but one of the things we talked about was the importance of being a supporter of each other.
Yeah.
And so we thought this is a really good thing to talk about on this podcast, because there were definitely seasons in our marriage that we were not good about this.
Yeah. Well, and so one of the things that Roy said was that in the most difficult seasons of ministry and of his work life and in the job that he's in now, that when he feels like that Leanne is on his team, when she has his back, when she's cheering him on, when she's affirming him, when she's encouraging him, then he can deal with all of the other stuff. And, people can be, saying bad things or have negative opinions or be, but if she's got his back, then he can hold up under the pressure of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm. And so he was encouraging us and saying that as you're entering this next season, make sure that that's the atmosphere that we have in our marriage.
Yeah.
And so that made me think about that. Like I said, there were definitely seasons that we weren't good about that. with each other.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate.
And then, but then I think I can think of times that we've definitely done well with that. So let's start with times that we weren't so great about that.
Okay.
And so we were trying to think of like specific examples. And again, it's late for you. And so I don't know that I can think of a very specific example of when we weren't, but maybe seasons.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Like, and I don't know that I'm ever very good at pulling out specific examples. I don't hold on to that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But what I do have is like if I look back over seasons of our marriage, I definitely there are times that I can go, oh, man, I did not feel like Jennifer was on my team during this season, or I mean, even going all the way back to the very beginning, and we've talked about this a little bit, and this is more of a specific example, and we've talked about it a little bit on the show. When I walked off of that job for MCI. Oops, maybe shouldn't call out.
Whatever.
They're
gone.
They're defunct.
Yeah,
They're
exactly.
long gone. When I walked off of that job,
that was long distance, selling long distance. So people we don't even know what MCI is.
Yeah,
like those young listeners
doesn't
of
even
ours.
matter. But when I walked off of that job without having another job lined up, I think number one, I failed on that. Because you didn't feel supported by me in that moment for sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that wasn't me like affirming you. That was a different kind of support. Right. But you felt like I had dropped the ball. And then, I certainly in the season that followed that did not feel like that you were a fan of mine,
Oh, yeah.
And so, so there's that's the thing where I go, okay, there's a season where I didn't feel like Jennifer was Team Todd at all, and
And it didn't feel good.
No, not at all. And that's the thing. Like if I think back, over, similar to what the example that Roy gave, or the thing that Roy said about feeling like he can conquer the world, that he can hold up under all of the other stuff if Leanne's on his team. I feel exactly the same. Mm-hmm. Like if I know that you're for me, then other people's opinions, I won't say they don't matter, but they don't have the same impact on me. Mm-hmm. I can handle that. And I'm definitely one of those kind of people who, if I feel like that you love me and that you're for me and that I will like bend over backwards to move heaven and earth for you if I can.
Do you mean me specifically or the person in general?
People in general, but definitely you for sure.
Like if you know that someone's believing in you, then like you're going to do whatever you can.
I'll give you my very best.
Right. But if you don't feel like, and I've heard you say this before, if you don't feel like someone's interested or loves you or cares about you, like you're not wasting your breath. I've heard you say it's pearls before swine. Like you're not, if someone doesn't want your opinion, you're not going to waste your breath and do anything. You're not going to give it to them.
Well, absolutely. Certainly in regard to my opinion, but I also, and maybe this is not right. Maybe this is something I need to wrestle with in my heart. But like, if I feel like somebody only values me for what I can do for them rather than value me as a person, I don't want to do anything for them. But if I feel that they love me, no matter what I can do for them, then I will do anything in the world for them. And certainly probably there's something there in my heart that I need to deal with.
Yeah.
But I think by and large people are that way, that if they think if they know that you love them and it's not based on what they can do for you, then they will go out of your way to do things for you.
And you definitely see that in a marriage for sure. And so, and I don't think that I felt like that you valued me either. Right. Like, and part of that was like not taking care of me, right? Like not making me feel safe and secure.
Right.
But I also felt like that you were dismissive of what I thought I had to offer you. Right. Like I felt like when I would give you input about things, I didn't think that you heard me or that you valued me. And so I felt like that I would have something to say about like, well, you need to pay attention to this relationship, or this is what's going on in this scenario. And I didn't think that you would hear me or value me. And so I'm a 6 on the Enneagram, which means that I think frequently in worst case scenarios. I'm like, well, this could go wrong. This could be happening. You need to be thinking these things through. And so when I would talk to you about that, I feel like you would dismiss me on those things. And so then I didn't feel like you would valued anything that I had to say. And in that season of my life, I was trying to prove myself to everybody. Like I was trying to say, I've got value. You need to see this. And so I was doing everything I can, every opportunity I had to prove to you that I had value. And I didn't feel like you ever wanted to see that I had value. And so, in fact, I felt like that you were pushing me away in that. And so, and I don't know, we'd have to explore that later as to why I would feel that way. That's probably not for this segment, right?
Yeah.
And that was my brokenness. I don't know that was necessarily what you were doing, but that was definitely my brokenness. And so, then I definitely wasn't a fan because like, you don't value me. I'm not valuing what you have to say either. And so then we were in this opposition.
Yeah.
I think constantly. And so, I think this is maybe silly, and I might have even said this before, but I think I want to say one of the moments that I felt like that shifted is I remember overhearing you telling one of the girls, we were at a theme park, and you told one of the girls, your mom doesn't ever get lost. Like she's really great at figuring out where she's at. And I remember like perking up at that going, I didn't know that you thought that about me. Like, I never knew that was a value that you had about me, you knew that I could figure my way around places. And there's times I'm going, yeah, I know where to go. That's right. I can figure things around. Like that thought has come to me before. It's like, yeah, that's right. I know how to do that. And so I think I knew that about myself, but the fact that you have said that about me helps me know that that's true. Like, yeah, I can. I do have a good cognitive map. I can figure out where I'm at and figure out where to go. And I do have a good sense of direction and kind of get a sense of, good ideas of where I'm at. And so, but I remember distinctly you saying that and being like, I didn't know that you thought that about me, and feeling like that you had, that you valued something in me.
Yeah. And see, for me, I would not have considered, I wouldn't have considered that as a significant moment. I was just telling our girls like one of your traits, and I think maybe that points out part of this discussion is that, those things that we need to give voice to them because we don't know the kind of impact that they're going to have. So say that positive thing, give that affirmation, tell them what you think and how you're feeling. In the positive ways, in the good ways. We're often really good at talking about the negative ways that we feel, but we fail to voice the positives. And we need to give just as much attention, probably more attention, to voicing the positives than we do the negative things.
Well, and in our episode where we talked about being a student of your spouse, one of the things you said when I asked you the question about what were you surprised about when you married me, you said you were surprised about like that I had insecurities, and so you didn't know that there was things you're going to have to cheer me on about or that you would have to like speak life to me about. And so I think definitely one of those places was whenever I started this private practice for counseling. Lord Jesus, how much of that did you have to cheer me on about?
Well, it was an everyday thing.
Oh my gosh. Like I really struggled to believe that anybody would want to pay money to come here and let me counsel them. Like I just could not fathom that. Like I understood that like if I worked at a mental health center or had like where clients were referred to, I'm sure that they would come and like they would use their insurance and that they would be okay to come see me. But the thought that someone independently would find me and come and see me and they would come back and spend their own money to see me was just unfathomable. I just couldn't believe that would happen. And so, and here I am 5.5 years later and like I'm scheduled, 2, 3, 4 weeks out easy and I'm full. I'm busy. And so I'm still taking new clients. Don't hear that. But like I'm busy. And
that's Jennifer Hinkle-Stanley.
Jennifer
Life
Stanley.
Consulting.
Yeah. Go ahead and sign up anytime. But like, still available. But like the reality was like I had a hard time believing that this was going to be something that would be successful. Like, and I just, every year that I hit my anniversary date, I'm just like, thank you, Jesus, that this is something that has gone well because I just, I had the hardest time thinking that this was going to be something. And like through that seasons, like I've come to understand that this is what God's created me to do. And like I can sit in that and rest in that. But man, you had to speak life over me and cheer me on and believe in me, because if you had told me at any point that I couldn't do this, I probably would have gone, you're right, I can't. Yeah. Because I did have other people speaking over me that I couldn't do it, going, well, I don't know that people are going to come to that. You really probably should figure out another way to do this. Right. You should go become a life coach, or no one's going to come without insurance. Or like I had other people telling me that this was not going to be successful. And so I had plenty of voices telling me that this wasn't going to go well. Yeah. Right. But I had you telling me that it was. Yeah. And so then like, I think that's the only way I would have been able, that was the only way that I was able to do that. And so thank you for being my cheerleader.
Well, you're welcome. To me, it was one of those things, and I wasn't the only person who was telling you.
Well, that's true. Okay, fair, but.
Well, I'm just saying, I wasn't the only one speaking that over you, but I knew that your skill and your value and and the calling that you have on your life is not contingent on a mental health center or a clinic. Like you don't need that validation to. And if the Lord has put his stamp of approval on you, and if he's calling you to do it, and that was the thing, like I felt confident that this was God's direction for our lives, and that this was, that you were intended to take that step of faith and to do it. And so I was like, why would we not?
Yeah.
And so I felt like it was my job really to cheer you on in that season, and to affirm you and to encourage you and to, and to be leading the way in, taking a step of faith. Mm-hmm. I mean, part of, you mentioned being a 6 in the Enneagram. And so part of what that is like catastrophizing, right? You think of the worst case scenario all the time. And I knew that part of the trepidation for you was thinking of all the ways that this could go wrong. Mm-hmm. All, the financial problems it could cause if people didn't come, mm-hmm. and, just the difficulty for our family and how am I going to get people there? And I knew that all of that was swirling in your head, but I also knew that you felt strongly that this was what God wanted you to do. Mm-hmm. And I was not about to allow the enemy to steal that from you. And so I knew that in order to overcome all of the voices, even in your own head, let alone the negative voices on the outside, that you needed me to be your cheerleader every single day, to encourage you every single day, to act like I was completely confident and unafraid, even if there were doubts in my own mind. Yeah. Right? That I could not give voice to those things, that I had to be the voice of encouragement in that season, or you would never have done it. And so I'm, I just every day, it's like, you can do this. It's going to be great.
Right. Well, and so then on the flip side, were there times that I was encouraging to you?
Yeah. I mean, I would say particularly, I look back over the course of our marriage, and you've always been particularly good in seasons of transition, or in seasons where my job or my role was changing and I had new responsibilities that were coming and I was unsure of how I was going to handle those, or, if I was being asked to do things that I'd never done before, and do I have the skill set? You always have been really, really good at championing me in those seasons. And so, yeah, I mean, even now, in transitioning, this is my first senior pastorate. Mm-hmm. It's the first time that I've been at the head of the table, so to speak. And I mean, there are a lot of things, like I've never had to, run a board meeting before. I haven't had to be responsible for the budget for an entire organization. I've only done my department up to this point. So now I have an entire organization that I'm responsible for. And if there's going to be new, staff members, I'm going to be doing the hiring and and all of these new things that I've not really done before. And, I would be lying if I said that I'm just, going into this with no doubts at all of my capacity and my ability to do it. And there have been days like that I've been like, "Whew, man, I don't know." And you've just been super, super encouraging. And, I love you for that. I mean, I love you for a lot of reasons, but.
Well, and so I will say to this, I don't have any doubt that you can do this. And that when you get stuck, you're going to ask questions, right? Because that's what we need to be able to do. And so you are going to be able to find the people that you need to ask questions of. And when you don't know what to do, you're going to ask Jesus. And then you're gonna ask the people that he sends, right? And so then I don't think that you're arrogant to the point that you're not gonna ask questions. I don't think you're arrogant at all, but you're not gonna not ask questions, and that's what gets people in trouble. Is like when they get stuck and they don't know what to do, and then they don't ask, and then they try to fake their way through it.
Right.
That's a problem, and so that you don't have that in you. And so when you don't know what to do, you're gonna call somebody up and you're gonna ask them. And so then. But the vast majority of things that you need to know how to be a senior pastor, you know how to do that.
Well, thank you.
Which is to love people, and that's what matters. And so you're going to be great at it.
I mean, I even think about actually there's still hanging in our bathroom. Like there was a particular season where I wasn't feeling validated.
Or valued.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you hung a scripture on the wall of our bathroom, and it's still hanging there. And you did that because you knew that every day when I went in there to brush my teeth or shave or just get ready in the morning, that I would see that there, and that I would know and be reminded that that the Lord put His stamp of approval on me, and that He would validate me, and that and so. I mean, there doesn't just another example, another way that I could say you've been a cheerleader for me. You've been a champion for me.
Well, and so then when we're talking about how to do that for your spouse, like we need to not withhold compliments. We need to not withhold encouragement.
Yeah.
And so I think we do that sometimes. And that really stinks, Yeah. And so then to understand like how profound it is to take a minute and say, you know what, you're really good at this. Yeah. You really do a good job at this, or, I believe in you.
Right.
Like what a game changer that is for somebody, a husband or a wife, to hear that from your spouse is like, I know that you can do this.
Absolutely.
I know that I believe in you. And even if there needs to be a tweak to it, right? Even if you need to say, hey, maybe you didn't get it right today, but that's okay. You got tomorrow, and it's like sometimes we're good at encouraging our kids, but we withhold it from our spouse.
Right.
Like it's the same skill set. It's the same thing. And so like, you're not going to be rude to your kids, or hopefully not. And so, use the same words, use the same ability that you have to encourage your kids and speak life over that. There was a statement, I'm going to get off the microphone. And so you need to talk to me while I do that. Cause I want to get a book off the shelf. Cause I wanted to, use it. So fill in my dead space while I do that. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, one of the things that I was thinking of while you were talking there was just the golden rule. And I think so much of what we deal with relationally can be fixed and can be resolved if we will actually be people who live out the golden rule. Mm-hmm. If I will treat you the way that I want to be treated, right? If I will do for you what I would want done for me, it solves so many of these things, right? Because I know I want to be encouraged, and so I should do that for you,
right?
Because that's what I know that I feel loved and feel valued when you do things for me.
Right.
And so I should do that for you. I know how encouraged I feel when you give me words of affirmation. I know how special it is for me I mentioned this recently, when you reach over and just take my hand and, and I didn't have to initiate it, like you take my hand, like those little things. And so if those are the things that I want done for me, I should do them for you. Mm-hmm. And not just in a marriage, but just in relationships in general. So much can be resolved and solved if we will live by that rule.
Mm-hmm. So this book my dad made me read in high school.
Oh,
right? That's the doozy. How to win friends and influence people, right? So it's been updated probably 1 million times. It says 80 years in print. It's been around a long time. And it is a great basic just how to interact with people. It's a great book, especially with like kids these days, not knowing how to have conversations. But there's a spot that I've marked in it and I go to it all the time, and I should have it memorized by now because I use it so much. But I think it's so important that we talk about it in marriage and just in relationships in general and dealing with people. But the statement is, abilities wither under criticism and they blossom under encouragement.
Yeah.
And so, man, like if you want something, if you want somebody to develop and you want to see a skill set, man, do encouragement.
Yeah.
And like that, you're going to see them grow. But when you criticize somebody and you just like nitpick it to death, it's just going to fall apart. Mm-hmm. Abilities wither under criticism, but they blossom under encouragement. And so if you're wanting to see the best out of your spouse, out of your kids, out of anybody, you've got to offer encouragement.
Yeah.
And so, and that doesn't mean that you don't point out something that needs to be changed, but it's just how you do it.
Yeah.
It's just how you do it. And so like, give me an example and I'll talk about it in a good way. What's something that needs to be changed, and I'll do both sides of it.
Something that needs to be changed?
Yeah. Like give me something.
For you or me or what? I'm not following you.
Well, I just was going to let you give me an example. So I was going to do two sides of it. Like how to,
I don't know what you're asking me to do.
Well, it must be too late. Okay. It's too late at night. So let's say that, we'll just do a kid one. So let's say that Coco needs to clean her room.
Okay.
Okay. So I can go in there and she's not ever cleaning her room, right? Her room is always filthy. So I can go in there and I can yell at her and say, you never clean your room. This is the sorriest room I've ever seen. And like this, I'm sick of telling you to do this. And you're never going to be a good housewife because all you ever do is leave your room messy. And like no one's ever going to want to date you because your room is filthy. If you ever bring a boy up here to show him your room, which would never allow to happen.
Right.
But if this, then they're going to say, this is how you leave your space. And they're never going to want to spend the rest of their life with you because what kind of wife would have their room like this? Right. Or I can say to her, hey, this isn't your best work. Like, I know that you can do better than this. I know that you have the ability to clean your room and that you know how to put your clothes away and that you know how to put your laundry away when you bring it upstairs and that you know how to like make your bed because I've taught you how to do that. I know you how to do this. This isn't your best work. And so I want you to be able to put your best foot forward so that when someone comes by and sees that your room is clean, they're going to know what a great representation you're going to have as a wife. and like, I know you can do better work. And so let me see this, right? The message is the same. I want your room to be clean so that you're representing yourself well, right?
Yeah.
It's just so much easier to receive it when you're saying it in an encouraging way. I know you can do this. So same thing with our spouses. And so we need to make sure that we can say what we need from them. We can say it in an encouraging way and communicate that we need things to be different and change. But we believe in you. We know that you can do this. You can still be corrective. We can still say things can change and need to be better. But just do it nicely.
Yeah. You know, there's the verse of scripture that says, if God is for us, who can be against us? Mm-hmm. And I think at the root of that, that's the thing that it's getting at. Mm-hmm. That if we know, like, not just in a kind of intellectual sense, but if I know deep down in my bones that God is for me, then I can withstand all of the other, troubles and turmoils of life. And certainly in a very real sense, because God is mighty, like no enemy can stand, right? Mm-hmm. But all of that hinges on whether or not I believe that to be true. If I don't believe that God is for me, then I will wilt in the face of opposition. Mm. And I think that as husbands and as wives, we have the opportunity to be a representative of God in those moments.
That's good.
To be for our spouse in the same way that God is for them. So that then they have the confidence and the strength and the courage to stand in the face of opposition and difficulty and struggle and not wilt under it.
So what homework we'd like to offer our listeners?
Say the positive thing.
Yeah.
Find some way to affirm your spouse every day this week.
That's good. So 7 times.
Yeah.
7 different things. And it could be on the same topic or it could be different ones. But find a way
Yeah.
to say something.
Well, I mean, maybe they're going through something, right? Maybe they're struggling with something at work or a family relationship or whatever it may be. Maybe they've gotten a medical diagnosis and they're really struggling to have hope and be the voice of encouragement for them.
Like, I know you've got this.
Yeah.
I know that you can do this. You've had a really tough time, but I know that you can get through this.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I believe in you.
Yeah. And let them know you're in it with them.
I'm on your team.
Yeah.
If anybody can manage this, I know that you can. And here's how I know it, because you've done X, Y, and Z. You've done these 3 things. And so I've seen you do this. And so
Right.
you can do it. And so I know that you're capable, and I'm right here with you.
Oh.
If you need any ideas on how to affirm your spouse, you can email us at nightstandcoffee@gmail.com. And we'll be happy to give you insight or input about that. And so we'd love to hear from you. And tell us if you have any topics you want us to cover or anything that you want us to talk about.
We're cheering you on.
We are.
Yeah.
Are we taking a break? Next week is Christmas.
Yeah. So,
And the week after that is New Year's
yeah.
on Wednesdays. We'll probably have time to record.
Right.
So we might not, we probably won't post on Christmas. We might post on New Year's, but
Right.
maybe we can record in advance so we're not keeping you up past your bedtime.
Good idea. I like where you're.
Maybe I'll affirm you in that.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I smell what you're cooking.
Yeah. Because, Ricky, you're so fine.
Thank you.
Okay. Talk to you later.
See you guys. Merry Christmas.